I wanted to show you guys this letter I got today, and you've probably gotten a similar one from the elections office of the lieutenant governor. It is letting me know that my voter registration data will no longer be private as of May 2026. So for those of you who don't know, the Trump administration has sued over 25 states for their full unredacted voter rolls. And most states, including Utah, have refused to comply with those orders, which are unconstitutional. 10 states, however, representing 37 million active voters, have turned over their full voter rolls to the federal government. And it should come as no surprise that these are all Republican states. Utah is taking a sort of middle of the road approach where they're not outright giving unredacted voter rolls to Donald Trump, but instead they're passing this law, SB 153, that gives far more personal information to the federal government than they had before. And Republican or Democrat, you should be extremely disappointed in your legislature for sponsoring and passing SB 153 that gives that access to the federal government. Deidre Henderson is the lieutenant governor, and she's a Republican, and she has repeatedly denied the Trump administration's requests. But it should have been a flat-out denial from the beginning. Instead, they're changing the law to half satisfy this egregious overreach from the Trump administration and the federal government. So I want all my states' rights advocates, I want all my anti-federal overreach advocates to stand up to this. Write to your congressperson, write to your legislator for District 71, that is Rex Shipp, and tell them that you do not support this and that you're voting him out this November. You might wonder why Donald Trump wants access to unredacted voter rolls, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of Republicans in my comments giving me all sorts of reasons as to why this is okay and why it's normal. But this is not normal, and it has never happened before. The federal government has never requested so much private voter information, and they've never gone to the lengths of suing essentially every state in the union to get it. The real reason that Donald Trump wants these voter rolls and wants to bring state level elections under federal control is because he wants to manipulate the elections. The truth is, the Trump administration fears a blue wave this November. They've seen the results of these special elections all over the country where voters swing towards the left by 15 or 30 points, and they're scared. And so they're doing everything they can to rig the midterm elections. He knows that Republicans' policy of 20-year, $20 trillion wars for oil, trillion-dollar tax cuts for billionaires, and defunding every social program from the Department of Education to Social Security is deeply, deeply unpopular. So they have to cheat to win. Before they lose the House, they lose the Senate, and Trump gets impeached for his Epstein scandal, for his Iran war scandal, for his endless pumping and dumping and manipulation of the market. And this is not a right versus left issue. This is a matter of our rights as Americans to freely vote in our elections and participate in our democracy. We already know that the Republicans in the legislature don't want that. They try to overturn our ballot initiatives. They try to gerrymander our state and rig our maps. But Republican voters, especially voters here in Utah, are not the same. They don't want to destroy and erode their democracy and their country so that they can win the next election. When you look around Utah and all you see is this red versus blue, hyper-partisan, toxic divide, you're not seeing the same Utah that I'm seeing. Utah has more unaffiliated voters, more independent voters, more libertarian voters than virtually every state. In fact, we are one of the only states to have ever elected a forward party candidate to their legislature. And Utah is one of the only red states to reject Donald Trump in their 2016 primary. And in that same year, Bernie Sanders won the Democratic primary. I believe that the Republican voters out here that put their faith first and want their communities to uphold traditional family values and love their country have it in them to stand up to un-American attacks on that democracy. Power comes from the people. It doesn't come from the top down. My name is Thomas Lovehart, and I'm a progressive independent challenger running to unseat the Republican incumbent Rex Shipp. And if you like what I'm saying and you like what I stand for, then vote for me this November. I know that my race is a long shot, believe me, but I also don't believe that we should be writing off working people in red states across the country, and that's exactly what the Democratic Party has done for the last 50 years. We deserve to be able to afford a home in our hometown. We deserve to be able to afford health care should we ever need it, so we don't go bankrupt just because we got sick. And we deserve high quality, well-funded public schools. And lastly, we deserve to be able to choose our future and not have a legislature that wants to take that right away from us. You can learn all about what I believe in and what I stand for on my website at voteloveheart.com. And if you can, please consider donating to my campaign because I can't win this fight without you.